Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin today by giving you a thought you may want to hang somewhere in your mind for the rest of this year. Winter is not just a season on the calendar. Winter is a season of life. And winter, my friends, is where leaders are born. Not in the sunshine, not in the comfort, not when everything is blooming. No, leadership is built in the quiet months, in the thoughtful months, in the months when most people slow down and let the year drift to a close. Winter becomes the workshop where you decide who you will be when the spring finally arrives. You see, most people wait for the calendar to give them permission to change. They wait for January 1st. They wait for a new month. They wait for things to get easier or clearer or more convenient. But leadership has nothing to do with waiting and everything to do with deciding. Winter is the perfect time to make that decision because winter reminds us that nothing grows unless something is first prepared. The soil rests. The farmer plans. The earth resets. And so must we. The next 90 days, if used correctly, can become the turning point of your entire 2026. Not because of some dramatic transformation, not because of a miracle breakthrough, but because winter gives you an advantage most people never take the chance to reflect, to prepare, to study, to build discipline, to strengthen your philosophy before the new year arrives. If you let winter slip away, you enter January unprepared. But if you use winter well, you enter 2026 already in motion. So today, I want to lay out your 90-day winter arc, a simple, powerful structure for using the quiet season to build the kind of person who attracts success when spring arrives. Not a person who hopes for better days, but a person who prepares for them. Remember what I learned early in my career. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And becoming that person begins long before the results show up. Think of winter as your personal workshop, a quiet place where you rebuild your discipline, examine your habits, and strengthen your thinking. This is where you craft the foundation for the coming year. This is where you reset your direction, refine your goals, and ask, who must I become for 2026 to be my turning point? Because that's the real question. Not what do I want next year, but who am I willing to become this winter? Let me tell you, the next season is already on its way, and the future favors the prepared. So if you're ready to begin this journey, remember this idea as we move forward. Anyone can change when the clock strikes midnight, but leaders begin long before the rest of the world wakes up. Now, before we talk about habits, routines, skills, or systems, we must settle something far more important, your philosophy. Because if you miss this part, the foundation, everything else becomes shaky. You can't build a strong house on weak ideas, and you can't build a strong life on accidental thinking. Your philosophy is the set of ideas that guides your decisions, and your decisions determine your direction. Without the right philosophy, you can work hard for 90 days and end up right where you started. I learned a long time ago that your philosophy is the major determining factor in your life. Not your boss, not the company, not the government, not the economy. Your philosophy, what you think about, what you believe about, effort, about value, about opportunity, about responsibility. These things shape your winter more than anything outside your door. So for this winter arc, I want to give you 3 foundational ideas, 3 cornerstones that will guide every choice you make for the next 90 days. Cornerstone number 1, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That changed everything for me. See, your job may pay the bills, but your personal development determines your future. Your work is what you do to make a living. Your personal growth is what you do to make a fortune. And winter is the perfect time to say, for the next 90 days, I'm the project, I'm the assignment, I'm the strategy. When you make yourself the priority, results begin to shift. Cornerstone number 2, success isn't something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Now that may sound simple, but don't ignore this. The winter arc is not about running faster. It's not about chasing goals harder. It's about becoming a person who naturally creates better results. When you get better, life gets better. When you improve your discipline, you improve your results. When you elevate your thinking, you elevate your circumstances. Remember, your life expands to match your philosophy. Cornerstone number 3. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Winter gives you a chance to become better, stronger, wiser, more disciplined, more valuable. Most people spend their life trying to rearrange the outside, new job, new country, new routine, without ever rearranging the inside. But leaders don't wait for life to be easy. Leaders prepare themselves to handle difficulty. Leaders don't rely on conditions. Leaders rely on character. And winter is the season to build that character. So for the next 90 days, your philosophy becomes your compass. Every morning you ask, who am I becoming? Every evening you ask, what did I learn? And throughout the day you remind yourself, I'm working on my skills, my habits, my discipline, because I am the project. That's the mentality that turns winter into transformation. If you embrace this foundation, if you truly let these 3 ideas guide your thinking, then every action you take will compound. Every habit you build will make sense. Every challenge you face will serve you. Because you're no longer moving randomly, you're moving with intention. And my friends, there is nothing more powerful than a person with a deliberate philosophy. So as we step into the next phase of this winter arc, carry these ideas with you. They will anchor you. They will guide you. And they will prepare you for the person you're becoming. Now that we've set the philosophy, let's step into the first 30 days of your winter arc, what I call the character phase. And let me tell you, this is the part most people skip. They want the income, they want the skills, they want the confidence, but they don't build the character that produces those things. They want the fruit before they plant the seed. But you and I know better. Winter is the season for planting, and character is the soil where everything else grows. In the first 30 days, we are not trying to conquer the world. We're simply trying to conquer ourselves. Because the greatest challenge in life is not the competition, not the economy, not the circumstances. The greatest challenge is to manage you. And if you learn to lead yourself well in this phase, the next 60 days will feel twice as powerful. So let's break this down into 4 simple practices. Not dramatic, not overwhelming, just quiet disciplines that reshape the person you're becoming. Practice number 1, daily reading. 15 to 30 minutes a day. Because reading plants ideas and ideas build the future. Don't underestimate this. One new idea can change your whole direction. A good book, a clear sentence, a powerful story. These things shape your philosophy, and your philosophy shapes your choices. Make reading your winter companion. Let wisdom be your daily conversation partner. Practice number 2, daily journaling. Now, I know journaling may feel small, but remember, small disciplines lead to big changes. Every night, take 10 minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What did I learn today? How will I improve tomorrow? This is how you create self-awareness. This is how you turn experience into insight. This is how you make sure that tomorrow is a little wiser than today. Practice number 3, daily physical commitment. Not 2 hours in the gym, not a perfect routine, just 20 to 30 minutes of movement. Walk, stretch, run, train, it doesn't matter. What matters is the message you send yourself. I take care of my body because I take myself seriously. Remember what I used to teach. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And when the body moves, the mind improves. You'll be amazed how quickly your confidence rises when you treat your health as a personal responsibility. Practice number 4, environmental reset. Your environment either lifts you or lowers you. It sharpens you or dulls you. It supports you or sabotages you. So clean your space, organize your desk, simplify your digital life. Throw out the clutter, physical and mental. Because a clean environment creates a calm mind, and a calm mind is where good decisions live. These 4 practices are the quiet work of leadership. Nobody applauds you for reading. Nobody celebrates your journal entry. Nobody gives you a trophy for cleaning your room. But one day, when your results begin to rise, when you speak more clearly, move more confidently, think more deliberately, people will say, "How did you change so much?" And you'll know the answer. I took 30 days to work on the person behind the scenes. This first phase is not about impressing anyone. It's about preparing yourself. It's about creating the frame, the inner frame that can hold the weight of the life you're building. If you do these small disciplines consistently for 30 days, something beautiful will happen. You will begin to trust yourself again, And that trust becomes the foundation for everything that comes next. So for the first month of your winter arc, keep it simple, keep it steady, keep it quiet. This is not the season for noise. This is the season for roots. And strong roots give you strength for the seasons ahead. Now, once the first 30 days have strengthened your character, we shift into the second phase of the winter arc, the value phase. And let me tell you why this phase matters so much. The marketplace does not reward you for your needs, your hopes, or your intentions. The marketplace rewards value. And value, my friends, is something you must build. It does not fall from the sky. It grows from your skills, your understanding, your ability to serve, your willingness to learn. Jim Rohn used to say, your income is a direct reflection of your value to the marketplace. And that lesson hit me hard because I realized my paycheck was not a judgment of my worth as a person, but simply a reflection of the value I was offering. And the moment I became more valuable, everything changed. Better opportunities appeared. Better people appeared. Better choices appeared. Why? Because value attracts value. So these next 30 days are designed for one purpose, to make you more useful to yourself, to your work, to your future. Let's break it into 3 essential disciplines. Discipline, number 1, develop a marketable skill. Just 30 minutes a day. That's all. But 30 minutes a day for 30 days is 15 hours of improvement in one winter month. And 15 hours focused on one skill can give you an advantage most people never earn in an entire year. This could be writing, design, communication, coding basics, editing videos, selling, analyzing data, or even understanding AI tools. It doesn't matter which skill you choose. What matters is that you choose something that increases your usefulness. And remember, you don't need a new job first, you need new value first. When you improve who you are, opportunity has a way of finding you. Discipline number 2, improve your communication. You can spend your whole life working hard, but if you cannot communicate clearly, your value is capped. Communication is the gateway to leadership, influence, connection, and trust. So for these 30 days, practice speaking more clearly. Record yourself, listen to your tone, your pacing, your presence. Read aloud for 10 minutes a day. You'll be amazed how reading aloud improves your vocabulary, your rhythm, your confidence. Remember what I taught for years. If you just learn to express an idea clearly, your value multiplies. People follow clarity, people respect clarity, people reward clarity. Discipline number 3, build something, anything. A small project, a simple product, a portfolio, a document of ideas, a case study, a blog, a digital template, a tiny challenge, anything that proves you can bring ideas to life. Creation builds confidence. Creation builds momentum. Creation builds identity. Because the moment you create something, you stop being a spectator and start becoming a contributor. And here's the magic. A project is proof. Proof that you can start. Proof that you can commit. Proof that you can finish. Proof that you can deliver value. The value phase isn't about perfection. It's about usefulness. It's about telling the world, here's what I bring to the table. And when you bring more, you attract more. Now think of what happens if you combine these 3 disciplines. A new skill, improved communication, and a small project. You become more confident. You become more capable. You become more valuable. And the world begins to respond differently to you because you're now operating at a higher level. So for days 31 to 60, the mission is simple. Upgrade your usefulness. Increase your value. Add one more layer to the person you're becoming. Because once you can serve more, help more, produce more, and communicate more, life has no choice but to pay you more, trust you more, and open more doors. And when you complete these 30 days, you'll be ready for the next phase, perhaps the most transformative of all the systems phase. By the time you reach day 61 of your winter arc, something remarkable begins to happen. You've strengthened your character in the first 30 days. You've increased your value in the next 30. And now you arrive at the final 30, the systems phase, where everything you've built suddenly becomes easier, smoother, more predictable. Now let me tell you why systems are so important. Hard work is essential. Discipline is essential. But without systems, your progress depends on willpower alone. And willpower is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. It comes and goes. It rises and falls. It is strong in the morning and weak in the evening. But a system keeps going. A system doesn't ask how you feel. A system simply runs. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned is this. Don't just fix the problem, fix the process that caused the problem. Because if you fix the problem but not the process, you'll be revisiting that problem again next week, next month, next year. Systems are how you protect your future from unnecessary repetition. Systems are how you free your mind from chaos. Systems are how you make success predictable. So in these final 30 days, we focus on 4 systems that shape the direction of your entire life. System number 1, your morning routine. Not a complicated routine, not a 5-hour regimen, just a simple, repeatable rhythm that sets the tone for the day. Wake up at a consistent time, even if it's just 15 minutes earlier than before. Spend a few minutes reading, a few minutes planning, a few minutes in silence, a few minutes moving your body. The goal is not perfection, the goal is predictability. Because predictable mornings lead to predictable progress. System number 2, your weekly review. You'd be surprised how many people live their lives without ever stopping to ask, how am I doing? They rush from one week to the next, never learning from their experience. But leaders, achievers, people who rise above average, they take time to review. Once a week, sit down with your journal and ask, what went well this week? What didn't go well? What patterns do I see? What must change next week? This one system alone can transform your results because you're no longer drifting, you're directing, you're learning, you're adjusting, you're improving. System number 3, your workflow. Even if you're a student, even if you're entry level, even if you feel you're just getting started, begin building structure into your work. Plan your week on Sunday. Organize your tasks. Break big goals into small actions. Use templates. Use checklists. Use routines. This is how you move from random effort to consistent performance. And consistent performance, my friends, is the seed of excellence. System number 4, your health rhythm. Health is not a project. Health is a system. Sleep at a consistent time. Drink water through the day. Move your body daily. Eat patterns that support your energy. Don't try to redesign your entire lifestyle. Just create simple rhythms, because simple rhythms become strong routines, and strong routines build a strong life. Now here's what makes the systems phase so powerful. It's not about doing more, it's about making what you already do easier to maintain. It's about reducing friction, removing randomness, eliminating unnecessary decision-making. Systems allow you to save your mental energy for what truly matters, your vision, your work, your goals, your future. By the time you reach day 90, these systems will start working even when you don't feel like working. And that is one of the great advantages of a leader, the ability to act from structure, not from emotion. So in these final 30 days, your mission is simple. Turn your habits into systems. Turn your choices into routines. Turn your discipline into automation. Because when you systemize your life, you stop fighting to stay consistent, and consistency begins to take care of you. Now let me prepare you for something very important in this 90-day journey. At some point, and it happens to all of us, you will hit what I call the winter wall. And believe me, it's not a question of if, but when. Somewhere between the momentum of the early days and the excitement of the final stretch, there comes a moment when the mind grows tired, the discipline fades, and the spirit whispers, maybe this is enough. Maybe you can slow down. Maybe you can skip today. Let me assure you, my friends, this moment is natural. It's not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is working. Because growth never arrives without resistance. The moment you feel the urge to quit is the same moment you are stretching beyond your old identity. And the old self will always fight for survival. That battle right there is the winter wall. The question is, How will you respond? Jim Rohn used to say, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Notice he didn't say motivation. He didn't say excitement. He didn't say energy. He said discipline, because discipline is what carries you when your enthusiasm takes a day off. So let me share 3 tools for breaking through the winter wall. Tool number 1, return to your why. When the work gets heavy, don't stare at the weight. Remember the purpose. Why did you begin this winter arc? What did you want to fix? What did you want to build? Who did you want to become? The why is your fuel. And if the why is powerful, the how becomes easy. Write it down, read it often. Remind yourself that this is not just another challenge. This is the season that prepares you for the next chapter of your life. Tool number 2, don't miss twice. Everyone stumbles. Everyone misses a day. Even the most disciplined people on earth lose rhythm from time to time. The trick is not perfection. The trick is recovery. 1 miss is life. 2 misses becomes a habit. If you skip a workout today, then tomorrow do a short one. If you miss your reading yesterday, today read for 5 minutes. If you fall behind on journaling, write 1 simple sentence. The goal is continuity, not perfection. Because even the smallest discipline strengthens your identity. Tool number 3, micro-discipline. When you don't have the energy for the big version of the habit, do the small version. If you can't run 3 miles, walk for 10 minutes. If you can't journal a full page, write a single thought. If you can't practice your skills for 30 minutes, practice for 5. Why? Because the purpose of discipline is to preserve your identity. Every tiny win says, I'm still in the game. I still show up. I still honor my commitments. Let me remind you of something essential. You don't overcome the winter wall by being stronger. You overcome it by being consistent. And consistency is a choice, not a feeling. When you hit the wall, choose not to stop. Choose to adjust. Choose to reduce the load. Choose to continue in whatever capacity you can. Because on the other side of the wall is transformation. This winter wall is the moment when average stops and leadership begins. It's the moment when others quit and you continue. It's the moment where your identity shifts from trying to becoming. And when you break through it, you won't just feel stronger, you will know that you can trust yourself. And that, my friends, is one of the greatest feelings a person can ever earn. Now let's take a look at what begins to happen as you move toward day 90. You see, most people think transformation is measured only in achievements, the trophy, the bank account, the new opportunity. But those things come later. The real harvest begins inside, long before it ever appears outside. And if you stay faithful to the winter arc, you're going to feel 5 major changes rising within you, changes that tell you a new life is taking shape. First, you will feel a new confidence. And not the kind of confidence that comes from compliments or applause. No, this confidence comes from something far deeper. The confidence of keeping promises to yourself. The confidence that grows when you say, I'll do it, and then you actually do it. Confidence is a quiet reward. It doesn't shout. It whispers. You can trust yourself again. And once you trust yourself, you become unstoppable. Second, you will feel clarity. When you read daily, journal nightly, move your body, build skills, and refine your systems, the fog begins to lift. You start seeing what you want. You begin noticing what no longer fits. The path becomes visible. And clarity, my friends, is one of the most valuable things a person can possess. Most people wander because they never pause long enough to see where they're going. But you took winter to think. And thinking leads to clarity. And clarity leads to power. Third, you will feel control returning to your life. Not the kind of control where you manipulate everything around you, but the kind where you control yourself, your actions, your habits, your emotions, your schedule, your attention. Systems give you control. Routines give you control. And once you have control, you stop reacting to life and you begin directing it. You become the architect instead of the passenger. Fourth, you will feel a new identity forming. Identity is the most powerful force in human behavior. People don't behave according to their goals. They behave according to their identity. And when you spend 90 days acting like a disciplined, focused, steady, self-respecting individual, you become one. You begin saying things like, I'm the kind of person who follows through. I'm the kind of person who grows every day. I'm the kind of person who keeps going even when it's difficult. And when your identity shifts, your entire destiny shifts with it. Fifth, you will feel momentum. Momentum is one of life's greatest gifts. Once it begins, every step feels lighter. Every decision feels clearer. Every action takes less effort. Momentum is when your habits begin helping you instead of resisting you. It's when your discipline becomes automatic, when your routines run on their own. You wake up with purpose, you move with intention, you end your day with satisfaction, and this is why I call it the harvest preview. Because long before the visible harvest arrives, the opportunity, the promotion, the strength, the results, you will feel the invisible harvest working inside you. Strength in your mind, order in your life, stability in your habits, peace in your decisions, and a quiet sense of pride that says, I'm not who I used to be, and I will never be that person again. That's the reward of 90 days of preparation. That's the reward of honoring winter. That's the reward of becoming better before asking for better results. My friends, when you feel these things growing inside you, you'll know you are ready for something bigger. And that takes us to the next step, the step where you connect this winter arc to your greater future. Now that you understand the harvest you'll feel by day 90, let's talk about how you turn these 90 days into something much bigger, your 2026 transformation. Because the winter arc is not a separate project from your future. It is the foundation of your future. What you build in these quiet months becomes the structure you live in next year. Most people make one major mistake. They believe their new year begins on January 1st. But that's not true. Your new year begins the moment you change your direction, the moment you prepare your philosophy, your habits, your systems, and your thinking. The moment you decide, this winter I rise. That's when 2026 truly begins. Jim Rohn taught a powerful idea. Your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. And change does not happen when the fireworks go off. Change happens when your mind wakes up. So let's connect your winter arc to your 2026 vision. And let me give you 4 steps to make this transition powerful and deliberate. Step number 1. Write your 1-year vision statement. Sit down quietly, intentionally, and ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like 12 months from now? Not vague hopes, not blurry wishes, but a clear description. Describe the person you want to be, your habits, your health, your mindset. Describe the work you want to do, your skills, your value, your contribution. Describe your relationships, your energy, your standards, your boundaries. Describe your outcomes, not fantasies, but possibilities. A written vision becomes a magnet. It pulls you toward your future. You don't drift into the life you want, you design it. Step number 2, define your 5 priorities for 2026. 5 is enough. More becomes noise. What are the 5 things that will matter most next year? Your health, your income, a major skill, a project, your discipline. 5 priorities create focus. Focus creates direction. Direction creates progress. Step number 3, identify what 2025 must end for 2026 to begin. This is one of the most important questions you will ever ask, because beginnings require endings. You can't take every habit, every distraction, every limitation, every fear into the next year. Something must be left behind. Ask yourself, what habits must end? What excuses must end? What environments must end? What relationships must end? What patterns must end? Winter is the perfect season to close chapters quietly and respectfully so you can enter the new year light, focused, and prepared. Step number 4, choose your personal theme for 2026. A theme is powerful. A theme gives you a lens to see the whole year through. Leadership, discipline, elevation, momentum, focus, mastery, courage. Choose the one word that will shape the next 12 months of your life. Because when your year has a theme, your choices begin to align with it. If your theme is discipline, every choice becomes, does this strengthen my discipline or weaken it? If your theme is growth, does this help me grow or does it keep me stagnant? If your theme is elevation, does this raise my standard or lower it? This is how your winter arc becomes a launch pad for the entire next year. This is how you convert 90 days of preparation into 12 months of progress. This is how 2026 becomes not another year on the calendar, but your year. If you follow these 4 steps, you will enter 2026, not with hope, but with certainty. Not with pressure, but with direction. Not with fear, but with confidence. Because you already strengthened your character. You already increased your value. You already built your systems. You already crossed the winter wall. You already became more. 2026 will not be guessing who you are. It will be receiving who you prepared yourself to be. And now, my friends, we come to the final message of this entire winter arc. If you've stayed with me through these sections, you already understand something most people never pause to consider. Winter is not a punishment. Winter is an advantage. It is not a setback. It is not an interruption. Winter is life's invitation to prepare, to reset, to rebuild, to grow in the shadows before you shine in the light. Let me leave you with a thought I've carried for years. The same winter that defeats the weak strengthens the wise. Because in winter, everything slows down except the few who understand its purpose. While the world relaxes, you reflect. While others drift, you decide. While many postpone, you prepare. While they wait for the new year, you begin shaping it now. And that single decision separates those who repeat their years from those who reinvent them. For 90 days, you have the opportunity to become the kind of person who enters 2026 with authority, not hope. The kind of person who says, I didn't wait for a miracle, I prepared for a harvest. The kind of person who doesn't rely on luck, but relies on discipline, clarity, systems, and growth. And once you learn to live this way, you'll discover something incredible. Momentum becomes your companion. Consistency becomes your identity. And improvement becomes your natural state. So as we close this winter arc, remember what you've built. You built character in the first 30 days. You built value in the next 30. You built systems in the final 30. And now you hold a blueprint for the life you want, written by you, refined by you, earned by you. The next chapter is waiting, not in January, not someday, not when things calm down, but right now in this quiet season where choices write the story of the future. So I'll challenge you with one final thought. Don't wish for 2026 to be better. Wish for yourself to be better and then get to work becoming that person this winter. Because when you rise, everything around you rises. When your thinking improves, your circumstances improve. When your habits strengthen, your results transform. When your philosophy grows, your life expands. Don't ask winter for permission. Use winter as your opportunity. Use winter as your workshop. Use winter as your turning point. And keep this truth close as you move forward. When your thinking rises, everything else eventually follows.